if you can master these two things and really allow them to flow seamlessly between each other, you're going to find it very easy to be successful. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what these two things are, exactly my story and my experience between the two, and then what you can go and do right now to get really good at these two things. So what are these two things? It's actually very simple, guys. The first thing is social media. You have to get really good at marketing yourself and understanding the game when it comes to posting, being consistent, getting your name out there as much as possible. And then the second thing is selling. If you can get good at those two things right now, I promise you, you will set up your life beautifully and live any kind of life you want. And I'm going to tell you exactly why this correlates to any business model, okay? But before that, what I also want to mention is a lot of the times what you'll find is like three categories of people. And so the first category is you have somebody that's really good at social media, but they suck at selling. And so all they're able to do is captivate attention. They're really able to put themselves out there, make great content, all these different things, but they can't make money for shit because they're bad at selling. The second category is the exact opposite of that. You have somebody that sucks at social media. Like they're not good on camera, they don't know how to put themselves out there, but they're really good at selling or building a product or whatever it is. That dynamic, I want you to think of school. You have Alex Hermosi and then you have Sam Ovens, I believe it is, right? They're the two, I think, biggest share owners of school. And so Alex Hermosi is a great marketer. He's great at social media. So he handles that side of things, right? And then Sam Ovens is great at, I don't want to say sales, but more so like building the product and doing all the back end work, right? And getting and building the thing, right? And so that's why they've essentially come together, because they've mastered those two things. And then the third category is somebody that's really good at the two. I would even take this back to Alex Hermosi. But somebody that's really good at the two is somebody that's great at fucking social media and great at selling. And so what are they able to do? They're able to get all of this attention. They're able to post themselves. They're able to just, again, captivate attention and convert the attention into actual bankroll, into money. And so those are the people that are really at the top. I want you to think of anybody that's really making money that's online, that we know of, that's in business, and it's because they've gotten really good at the two. Think of Iman Ghazi. He's great at marketing, posting YouTube videos, Instagram reels. He has like 3 YouTube channels, and he's great at fucking selling and converting to Digital Launchpad, to Big Day, whatever it is that he's selling. And so he's great at the two. What does that allow these guys to do? Make millions of dollars a month, okay? And so now I want to give you guys my experience. My experience with these things is, when I started off, I was really good at first of all, I was good at none of them. Okay, 4.5 years ago is when I posted my first ever TikTok video and YouTube video. This was in 2020, and I was trash. If you scroll back on my channel, you can look at the very first YouTube video I posted seriously on this channel, and it was like how to get funded for $10,000 with a proprietary trading firm. And funny enough, just because there's always like scarcity when it comes to online, because there's not a lot of competition online, as I like to say, because most people are just consuming. It's really 1% of the world that are consistent content creators. So I posted the very first video and it got 40,000 views because it was very informative, value driven, but I sucked though. The only reason that video did well is because at the time it was a trending topic and there wasn't a lot of information around that topic, and so it really just gave people more insight. And so by luck, by chance, and obviously by work, it got 40,000 views, first ever YouTube video. And then after that, or before that actually, I started posting on TikTok. Dude, if you want to scroll back on my TikTok all the way to the very bottom, you will be cringed out, okay? And so I was absolutely fucking trash at social media, at marketing, at getting my name out there. And so what did I do? I just started putting in reps, bro. I started posting all the time. One of my goals early on was to post 3 videos a day for 3 months straight. I literally have a video on my Snapchat camera roll that I look at sometimes when I'm scrolling through my memories, where I literally come on the camera and I'm like, hey guys, if you noticed, I've been posting a lot on TikTok lately because I've seen that the market is very simple when you think about it. It's just scarcity, or supply and demand. There's a lot of consumers and there's not a lot of creators, and so that's why you're able to see people blow up out of thin air, because you have all of these consumers and they don't have anywhere to go. And so when there is attention, they love to flow to it like it's water. So I understood these concepts very early on, and that's why I took these things seriously. And so again, just started posting anything I could think of 3 times a day. I had videos planned out. I had alarms in the morning to wake up, post a draft, go back to sleep, because I don't think you could schedule posts back then on TikTok. Had an alarm at noon, because what I used to do back then is just stay up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, grind, and then I would sleep till like 12, 1. And so I had these alarms out so I would make sure I didn't miss a post, and then I was posting at different times in the day because I thought like a schedule back then would make things blow up. And so I took it really seriously. Eventually, what happened is I got better, bro. I started just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall, and a couple videos blew up. And then it wasn't until 3 months in of posting around 3 times a day did my first video go like really viral, 12 million views, right? And so all I'm getting at is through that process of just reps, 3 reps a day, every single day for 3 months long, did I get better at the skill of posting online, of putting my face on camera, this and that. And then same thing goes for YouTube. Started posting consistently on YouTube. Again, if you scroll back, it was a bunch of content focused around trading, just informative, the stock market, Robinhood, a couple trend trading things, day in the life. Just started getting my face out there, right? And so eventually what happened is I built a pretty decent following on social media. On TikTok, sitting around 300,000. On Instagram, sitting around like 165,000. And now on YouTube, bro, we're sitting at 10,000, right? And so I was really good back then, or after, I'd say once I blew up around 2 years in, did I get really good at just, again, captivating attention. I understood what works, kept doubling down on performing things, shied a little away from things that didn't perform. Then I understood I just need to share my entire life. Really got good at building a connection online. But what I wasn't good at is selling. I was trash. And so what happened to me in specific is, again, I fell into the category of going from being good at none of these to only being good at one of these. But I was slowly stacking my skill set. Right? I was getting better. And so again, became good at marketing, at social media. Was able to get 100 million views, build a following to around 500,000 people, but I sucked at selling. And so no money was coming in. On the high ends of me getting like 20 million accounts engaged, I was making like $1,500. And so I was like, dude, what's going on? I found myself working at Target. And this was like a really hard time for me, because I went from like making some money in my business to then having like a huge downfall, making no money, have to go work at Target. And I was like, dude, what's going on? I'm essentially famous. I wasn't really famous, but I was like engaging 20 million accounts on Instagram on a monthly basis, and I was broke. I was like, bro, how is this possible? I thought you get 20 million views, you get 100,000 followers on Instagram, and you're balling, you made it. I'm out the hood. I'm out the mud, bro. My family's taken care of. I'm making at least 10 a month, when it was not the case at all. Social media actually doesn't pay you that well for views, specifically on short form, and leads me into why I do what I do now, which is I help creators monetize their audiences. But I'll get into that at the end of this video. So in short, was getting good at marketing. So then after all of this happened, did I realize I have to get good at selling, bro, because it's really the two that allow you to come together and make a fuck ton of money. And so then what did I do to get good at the selling part and like the actual converting and the building, like the back end stuff, instead of just the marketing? There were 2 things I did. The first thing I did is I luckily kind of fell into car sales. I worked at BMW and I worked at Mercedes. And I worked with some top tier dudes, some really, really top tier dudes. I'm talking about young guys making like $30,000 a month, breaking records on what the, not the industry, what the store is sold at BMW. My direct manager, bro, absolute killer. He's a dog. I think he sold like 56 cars 1 month in December. These were BMWs. He made like $35,000, I believe, something along those lines. And luckily I was working there, and so it was like a free mentorship, bro. And me and him were pretty good friends. He saw the potential in me, and so he would just basically feed me knowledge, bro, feed me deals. I would get paid heavily because in car sales, you get paid a commission. And at the time, I was kind of like a half position where I was half in sales and kind of like the bitch of the office, because a lot of times you can't just start in sales if you have like really no experience, whatever. And so I was like half, and I was still getting paid pretty good, all these things. And so I started to develop my skills there. After that, then I worked at Mercedes as like a full-time salesperson, got better at sales again there. Managers that were huge big dogs in the industries. I'm talking about like running 5, 6, 7 dealerships, like those the kind of managers. Really just soaked in a bunch of knowledge, bro. I understood I'm there to learn, and as a byproduct, the money as well. But that's how I slowly stacked my skill set in sales in the real world, meaning like at a job, more so is what I'm getting at. On top of that, what I did then is I sought out a mentor, bro. I had to invest in my knowledge, invest in the skill set. And what was the best way for me to do that is find somebody that's doing what I actively want to do. And so my mentor actually reached out to me a while back now, last year, and ended up coming to work together. I've been following him for a while. I was like kind of always interested in what he was doing. In short, worked with my mentor, got really good at selling online, and then all of those skills that I learned in sales in the real world were able to also just stack on top of now this online structure and setting up certain systems to really start converting. And so I just got put in a great position where now I was like, okay, I know how to captivate attention. I know how to put myself out there. I know how to authentically make content, be myself. I know how to build connection, all these things. And I was like, oh, dude, great. I know how to sell as well now. And so after I put all these systems together, again, went through my mentorship, stacked the skills, understood where I was, launched my offer. First week of me really having something put together to sell online, I made $5,000. I was like, oh shit, I'm on track to make $20,000 in the first month of me launching my offer. It was absolutely insane. And that's why, do I tell you, if you can get really good at just these two things, will it change your life? Because it directly changed mine. And that's my experience. So what can you do, bro? What can you do now to get really good at these two things? Number one, you just have to go and do them. What I always found is in doing, do I learn the most? I don't learn the most by reading a book, watching a YouTube video, even being mentored. I learn the most by taking those concepts and applying them. Like, dude, I can read a full book, or I can watch a 3-hour-long YouTube video, or even my mentorship, with anybody. I've paid for multiple mentorships on the internet. Beautiful. It's my favorite form of investing. I'd rather pay somebody that's done what I want to do than fucking pay some bullshit professor at this systematic education system, at this education system that the government has put in place. Some motherfuckers teaching you bullshit. Anyway, besides the point. So what you can do, again, is in doing. Because for myself, when I would watch all these videos, all this stuff, a lot of people think that like knowledge is power when it's completely false. Applied knowledge is power. And so if I go out and learn all these things, like, it doesn't really mean anything for me until I start applying it. And it doesn't matter if you pay $10,000 for a mentorship. It doesn't matter if you pay, $10,000 for a seminar, $10,000 for this book, whatever it is. I've always found it that in the actual application of things, and yes, having some context and a mentor is great because it allows you to know what to work on, this and that. Are you guided? But like, it's only in the process of you, again, actually doing it, do you really start to understand it. Like I always say, you can read a book on how to surf, or read a book on how to start a business, and it'll give you context, it'll give you certain ways of thinking, but you don't really learn shit until you start doing it for yourself. So until you take a board and go surf, until you start doing outreach and running the business or whatever it is. And so that's the first thing you can do, is like just start doing. Stop thinking, stop trying to prepare. There's no amount of preparation that can really get you prepared for a scenario or for something. Like, just go and do it. And what a lot of you guys will do is you'll start thinking about things before you've even done it. And I say this all the time. What you have to do is switch that. You have to do something and then think about, okay, what did I do? Was it good? Was it bad? How did it perform? Did it not perform? And in doing that consistently, are you going to see you're basically just going to be in a state of always reviewing, and from being in a state of self-awareness review, are you going to understand if you're progressing or not, instead of sitting there and thinking and actually not, getting anywhere. You're just giving yourself that fucking bullshit dopamine in your mind. And so that's why I've always found progression in action, in implementation. Now, after you just start doing, I always say the second thing that you can do is seek out a mentor, bro, like I did. The very first mentorship I paid for online changed my life. Luckily, I didn't fall into like a scam or anything. So I paid, back in 2020, the first mentorship I paid for was a community and a mentor in a way. It was a paid community, and you still had access to my mentor. He would hop on these calls with all of us. We had like private chats and all that. Bro, the first day, when I tell you, like, this blew my mind, okay? This is a really important concept, and I'll make another video on this. But the very first day of me being in this community, did I hop on a call with all of these people, like-minded people. There were girls there were boys there were people from all over the world, not even just in the United States, because I live in the United States. I made $350 that day. And I was paying like $270 or $240 or $320, I don't remember what it was, for the whole month for the community mentorship. And did it blow my mind? Because what I realized that day was like, holy shit, you will make more money with like-minded strangers, with people that are actually interested in the same things you are, than you will with friends that you've hung out with and you've known, or family, all this, that you've known your whole life. And that day changed my life forever, because I remember thinking about this. I was like, wow, I thought I was always gonna, build a business with my cousins, with my friends, this. And I was like, it's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. Like, this is the world now. And then this, when I really got deep into all this other stuff in business and entrepreneurship, but I'll make separate videos on those topics. And so seek out mentorship, bro. Seek out communities. I'm a shameless plug myself. I mentor people on exactly this: creating content, monetizing your audience, building your online business. The first link in the description. I also have a free brotherhood where I host a masterclass with all the brothers once a week. You can join us. The first link in the second link in the description. And I have a free training as well. Go check it out. And so by far, what those mentorships allowed me to do, and even my mentorship, my really serious mentorship that I paid to work one-on-one with my mentor on specifically online business building, was huge, bro. Was huge, because the guidance, the roadmap, knowing exactly what to work on, because it's been proven to work. You're not wasting time, and like just shortcutting that path is huge. And it coming from somebody that's actually done what you want to do, again, just saves you so much time. And we know time is money, because a lot of the times what I did in my journey, and I say this, is I was trying to be a lone wolf. I was trying to always do things by myself. And to an extent, it was good, because I went through, I don't want to say like a bunch of things alone, but I was just by myself all the time. And so I built like this mindset that I think, to this day, I don't really think anybody has the kind of mindset that I do. I'll kill anyone is the best way I like to put that. You put me in front of somebody, and we're going against the same thing, I'm going to either die or I'm going to win. And that came from me really going under. But what I'm getting at with that is, I think my journey a lot of the times took a little too long, and not necessarily that, like, it's God's plan, right? But I think there was a lot of time wasted because I was working on the wrong things. I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have a plan a lot of the times. I just didn't have the guidance. And so it took me unnecessarily long sometimes. Like, I was working at Target where again, like, my mind was straight. Well, it wasn't straight because I was obviously working at Target, but like, the level of competence, the level of understanding concepts was there. I was jacked, 6-pack, shredded. And I just felt like, dude, like, I should not be working here, right? And it humbled me in a little, but dude, if I had guidance, like, bro, I should have been making like 20K a month back then if I just knew what to actually work on and not be fucking stupid. But it was a great experience, really humbled me, and made me, I don't want to say appreciate the worth of like $1, because I really kind of always understood what it was, just because I grew up in my family's business as a cleaner for wealthy people. But again, all I'm getting at is start implementing, start looking for a mentor, bro. And then let's see here, what else is one of the best things you can do is consistently be reviewing. Again, like I said, this was a big one for me, because what happened is, as I told you, things took me longer to understand than most. It was like, sometimes I'd be working on things for so long, but I wouldn't be reviewing. And so I would be working on the wrong things for a very long amount of time before I actually came to the realization of like, oh shit, what I'm doing is not working. What I'm doing isn't working. It's not effective. And so I need to change something. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I always say, a lot of you, what you're doing right now is you're doubling down on what isn't working. And it's like you're expecting a different result. If you think of, again, like trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And so the next thing you can do is just constantly be in a state of review. Okay, and I really think like those 3 things is what are going to allow you to get really good at the 2, really change your life, like starting to post, starting to sell, seeking guidance, and then being in a state of constant like self-awareness and review, whether this is through journaling, whether this is through meditating, whether this is through just any way, shape, or form of like tracking what you're actually doing, if it's effective or not. And the best thing you can, this is kind of funny, because what happens a lot of the times as well is, when you do start social media, when you do start to document your journey online and post, in a way, like that is tracking, like you're posting that out there. It's what I did a lot of the times. I was just tracking my progress online. And so when I go back and look at my Instagram reels, on my YouTube videos, like I can see exactly where I was at in my journey at almost all times because of the videos I posted. And so there's why there's so much power in posting, and simultaneously, you know, you're building up your story, bro, in your own movie, and people are coming along with you on that story. You're building the connection with them. And we all know this, the stronger connection you're able to build online, like the more money you'll make if you know how to sell properly and you have an offer that people actually like, people that is relevant to the people that follow you. So boys, hopefully you took some value and some knowledge from this video on really understanding that if you can get good at these 2 things, I promise you it'll change your entire life. Because this goes for any business in the world. I want you to think of drop shipping. It's content and it's selling. You're linking the 2. You're making viral videos so that you can sell a product. And I don't like that concept, because I always think if you can do that for drop shipping, you can do it for yourself. Really just build your own name, and building your own name, you'll always make the most amount of money, because then you can create a brand that's actually yours or whatever. But they all work, they all make you money. This goes for any business model. I promise you, just think about it and you'll start to see how the concepts apply. So with that being said, boys, I love each and every single one of you. If you want to apply to work with me one-on-one on directly applying these concepts, learning these concepts, really changing your life within the next 6 months, you can book a call. It's the first link in the description. It's an application. We don't accept everybody. And then have a free brotherhood where we have a master class once a week. And then I also have a free training, bunch of free resources for you guys to check out. If I were you, go check out the free brotherhood right now before we close it at the end of the month. Again, love you guys. See you in the next video.